Hi, it's Rafaela from Migraine Australia. I hope you're enjoying Migraine Awareness Month. We're having so much fun and speaking to so many great people who are doing some fantastic work in migraine. With us today is Aimie Peek. Aimie is a physiotherapist, actually at my old physiotherapist, UprightCare in Bondi Junction. Hi, Larry. And she's also doing a PhD fundamentally about migraine. So let's find out about it. You're doing your PhD at University of Sydney, right?
Yeah, that's right. So with the Faculty of Health Sciences. And yeah, I've come over from the UK and to do that. So it's been absolutely great.
How far through it are you?
Coming up to the end of my second year. So,
okay, so still about a year or so to go.
Yes, yeah.
All right. Tell us first about you and your work in physiotherapy and how you got interested in migraine.
So I'm an advanced practice physiotherapist from the UK, and I've worked for years looking at musculoskeletal conditions, so problems of muscles and joints. I did a master's program that really sparked my interest in headaches and migraines, and I think it's kind of developed from there really. So when I saw the opportunity to look at kind of causes of migraines for my PhD, I was really excited to do that, and the opportunity to work in Sydney and live in Sydney obviously was very appealing as well.
Yeah, Bondi is such a high place to live, isn't it?
I know.
Tell us about your PhD research.
Okay, so the key thing is that we want to get a better understanding of the underlying causes of migraine. Myself and a team of professors and researchers who are physiotherapists, urologists, radiologists, MR physicists are all working together using the state-of-the-art brain scanning techniques. That allows us to actually look at the chemicals in the brain of people with migraine. And it's just using an MRI scanner, but it uses a process over the top of that allows us to get this insight. So really exciting stuff.
It sounds really interesting. Now, you mentioned to me when we spoke before that part of your study is looking at people on Aimie Peek.
Well, that is a part of it. So what we're doing is we're having a look at the brain chemistry in people before they start any medication. And then we want to see if the brain chemistry changes as people's symptoms either improve or maybe sometimes they do unfortunately stay the same, but we want to see if this is reflected in the brain chemistry. One of our studies is actually looking at people before and after starting either Aimovig or Botox, and then seeing how this can change the chemistry.
Have you found anything interesting and cool yet?
So lots of really cool things are coming up, but those studies are just reaching kind of finalisation. So those results are to come once we've managed to analyse those ones. So hopefully by the end of this year, we'll be able to tell you a lot more about that.
That'd be great. So what's your main aim? What are you hoping comes out of the study?
With this better understanding of the inhibitory and excitatory chemicals of the brain, so kind of the chemicals that can really influence pain, with this understanding, we hope that in the future we can use treatments that specifically target any of these chemical imbalances in the brain. At the moment, a lot of people who experience migraine will know that they'll try one medication, see how it goes, then they try another one, and they may or may not have side effects. They may find it helpful, they may not. So it's quite a lot of like trial and error, unfortunately. So what we want to do is find a way of actually kind of bringing this together so we're targeting our treatment more specifically. So it takes away some of that guesswork.
That's awesome. So we're going to have more tailored treatment. You can find out what kind of migraine you've got, and then you can actually get a treatment that might work for you. I refer to it as the suck it and see approach of migraine treatment, which is kind of where we're at the moment. This is such an exciting time for migraine research, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think with these techniques that we're using, it gives us that whole new kind of insight. So although we're going back to drawing board, and this is unfortunately stage one, as it were, sort of exploring and having a look at what's going on and reporting what's going on and understanding this, we do hope that through those extra stages that we'll get to this point where we can kind of tailor it a lot more. We're at an exciting point. We've got 3 trials that we are running at the moment, or rather they're studies more than trials, I should say. And one of those is looking at some of the brain chemicals that we found in previous research to be changed in migraine. So in particular, one that's called GABA. So our research group compared people with migraine to people with controls and found that this GABA was increased. So what we've done is we've done a systematic review of the literature and a meta-analysis to really look at whether these chemical changes are present in any other pain condition. And what we've actually found is they appear to be quite unique at this stage to migraine. What we're wanting to do now with those follow-on studies is to actually do a head-to-head comparison of migraine with other headache and pain conditions. So this will give us that good understanding of whether this is something we see in chronic pain generally, or if it is actually a unique thing to migraine. So obviously the limitation of when you're just doing a systematic review, if you haven't got those direct head-to-head comparisons, it's hard to come to those conclusions. So this gives us the opportunity to really understand that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at any clinical characteristics that allows us to pick up these chemical changes without having to go through an MRI scanner. Because obviously that's costly, and if you've got a cracking migraine, the last thing you want to do is lay in a noisy scanner. So if we can identify these chemical changes through some simple tests, so we're looking at saliva, we look at some physiotherapy tests and also some pain processing tests, and we're going to have a look at if any of those can predict those brain changes. So really exciting and taking us on that next step closer to being able to try and target treatment.
That's just amazing. The idea of, like a blood test or a saliva test is something that so many people in the migraine community have been screaming out for, so that they can actually know that what they have is migraine is nothing else. And something short of diagnosis of exclusion, which is where we're at the moment. You get tested for everything. You have 1,000 blood tests. You have, spine punctures and lumbar punctures and MRIs, and they all come back going, yeah, there's nothing there. So we're fine with migraine. It's kind of,
yeah, so it's kind of looking for the flip side of that, really. And so exciting.
That's so amazing, Aimie. We really look forward to hearing all about the results of your research in about a year or so.
Yeah, brilliant. That's great.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.